So I have about a cup of blueberries. We'll see how much that translates into blueberry juice. So we'll put this in the blender. If need be, you can add a little bit of water or alcohol. So I'm using some Canson watercolor paper. I've just taken some regular masking tape and I've taped down the edges. That's just going to help when it dries. It's going to help it dry a little more flat. I took the blueberries which we mixed up. You can see that it still has a lot of the skin from the blueberry. My filter didn't work very well. In fact, I gave up on that. But I found that with this kind of pulpy mess that the sponge on a stick works a little bit better than the brush, and so I'm going to mix this up a little bit, sat for just a couple minutes, and I'm going to apply it. And I'm going to go back and forth a few times. And notice I'm getting some of that pulp. I'm going to use the sponge effect of this brush to help lift some of that up when I'm done here. But I'm going to go over this whole thing. And I'm going to go in multiple directions. Just going to try to get a little more pigment on there. And you can see it's adding to that color a little bit. And then once I get it on, if I start brushing a little harder, I can get rid of some of that pulpy stuff. I may not get rid of all of it, but I can probably get rid of the bulk of it. There we go, something like that. And I can let this dry a little bit and then add a little more pigment to it to try to build up the color a little bit. When it dries, the color isn't always as you see it here. Here's one you can see I did a half hour or so ago, and you can see that the color has already changed a little bit. That's good. Okay, well here's what our final coat of the blueberry juice looks like. I wanted to show you in comparison to a gray card. A gray card's a traditional photographer tool for evaluating exposure. It's halfway between black and white. What you're going to see is my blueberry is really just a tiny bit lighter than the gray card. So when I use the bleaching effect of the sun, and here's the image that I'm going to use. And so basically the parts that you can see here are the parts that are going to bleach out, and hopefully the black of the negative here will block the sun from striking the rest of the image, and it will retain that blue tone. But the thing that I wanted to show you is that basically what I'm going to get, even if this bleaches out to white, I'm going to have between the paper white, which you can see here, and what really would be kind of almost a light middle gray kind of tone. So it will be limited in the tonal value. But anyway, this is one of those hot 105 degree days, so this really dried in a few hours. Just by comparison, I wanted to show you the first one that I coated as a test. Not only did I not get rid of all the little flakes of blueberry skin, but you can see a real difference in the color. I mixed this a little bit better, but I also coated it several times while it was still wet, so I probably went over it 4 or 5 different times and build up the color each time. So anyway, I'm hoping I get a little better results with this one. So again, I'm going to sandwich that together with the negative and then put that in the printing frame. This one is a tight fit, and you can get these frames. We have a few in the art office, first come, first serve, for the fall 2020. that can be checked out. Anyway, where you see here the light areas of the image, the sunlight should go through there and should bleach out those areas, and where the dark part of the film positive here is that should block the light from striking those areas, and they'll retain hopefully most of that blue color that we have here. So let's take this out and find a place to stick it for about a week. Alright, we're going to sit there for about a week and let the sun bleach away the parts of the image that it can, and we'll see then what our image looks like. That may be on this video, or I might get impatient and just go ahead and process this one and show you in a second video the finished result.